Hi, my name's Adam, and I want to introduce you to a project I'm working on called Novus Bestiary. So, what is a bestiary? A bestiary is basically a book of beasts. Now, these books became extremely popular in the Middle Ages in Europe, and originally they were these giant illustrated manuscripts that looked something like this. And what you would find inside was all these crazy pictures and stories about animals of all kinds. And some of them were real and some of them were a little more fantastic. And what I love about these is when you read about the creatures, you get an amazing insight into what people thought the world was like at the time. And quite a few of them were actually religious allegories, Christian allegories. So they served as a way for the authors to basically tell people how they thought they should behave. So these were pretty popular back in the Middle Ages, but then they kind of disappeared for a while, like they lost their popularity. But bestiaries still exist today, but in very different forms. So there's two ways or forms I usually see them in these days. One is in video games. A lot of video games that, like RPGs, video games that deal with fantastic creatures, will sometimes include a bestiary, which is essentially an entry about all of the different fantastic creatures you'll find in the world. So games like The Witcher do this really well. The other form I see them in is in tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. So here's my monster manual, which is essentially a modern bestiary, in my opinion. And it is also filled with all these amazing creatures and entries that tell you a little bit about the creature's behavior, and then also includes some mechanics for how they'll actually work if you want to put them into your role-playing game. So what I wanted to do was create something new, something digital, that would become an encyclopedia for all of these creatures. And this was a crazy ambitious goal for me. What I am hoping to do with this project is slowly catalog every single interesting, fantastic creature I can find. And it would cross every medium. So books, modern books as well as ancient ones, pulling from classical mythology and mythologies around the world, pulling from modern video games and all of the worlds created in those. So it's basically a job that will never end. And what I had imagined originally was this really cool web app where you could go and explore all of these creatures to inspire your own stories and your own games, and then hopefully browse through them and draw connections between them, as well as maybe find some artwork and learn more about the lore of these creatures. So this was my original intention with Novus Bestiary. But when I looked at the task ahead of me, it was too much. It occurred to me that, I could be working on this for the rest of my life and still not finish chronicling all of the creatures. And in addition, I have a full-time job and 3 kids, so I was wondering, how the heck am I actually going to build a web app and do all this stuff on the side? So what I did instead was I started small, and I released this email newsletter that you can go to novusbestiary.com today and subscribe to. And so what I'm doing here is starting this process. And so if you subscribe to the newsletter, what you get is once a week, if possible, though lately I've been missing a few weeks, you'll get an email like this one here. And so this is an entry on the basilisk. And it might include some artwork, and it basically includes a story. It includes facts about the creature and just bits of lore that I find interesting. It's not complete by any means, but it's still something. And so in this way, I'm slowly moving through every single monster I find interesting 1 week at a time. Now, I'm excited to say that I do have a little bit more time to invest in this project today. So what I'm happy to announce is I will be, in the near future, evolving the Bestiary to be more than just an email newsletter. So right now, I've started work on what will be the first version of an actual website, where anyone will be able to go and browse through the creatures that I've published so far. And in addition, I'll be adding other features, which I'm still working through, not quite sure what the final form will be yet, but you can expect different tools that will help you navigate and explore the creatures. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It will continue to be really interesting, and I'm really hoping to create the most interesting modern bestiary in the world. If you want to follow along with it, you can subscribe to this newsletter at novusbestiary.com. And I'll also try to post videos on YouTube that share some of my progress as I work through it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see what happens.